The Guam Regional Medical City has been experiencing a rise in positive COVID cases, much like their public counterpart, the Guam Memorial Hospital. And just like them, patients are coming in for a completely different reason other than COVID, but end up testing positive for it, confirmed by GRMC Chief Medical Officer Dr. Bo Whalard.
Some people have pretty mild symptoms or they're asymptomatic, and so yeah, they don't necessarily seek medical treatment for that reason, and then it turns out they're here for something else, and we end up finding out that they do test positive for COVID. I think the other component is just that COVID has now touched so many people, especially in our community, that, some people will, tend to be persistently positive, for various reasons when they are tested. So we see people that, end up testing positive because they've had a history of COVID or they've, been infected with COVID in the last few months.
But although the cases are up, hospitalizations remain minimal at GRMC, with 6 people admitted there for COVID-19. Dr. Whalard gave his thoughts on why hospitalization numbers are low.
We've learned about the transmission and sort of the way that COVID is, it's present even when we're not expecting it in many cases. And so I think we're seeing a lot of that. I think overall also the sense is that the severity of the variants we see now is just a bit less.
Dr. Whalard said with island residents experiencing what can now be called pandemic fatigue, meaning they're tired of hearing about the COVID pandemic, he still reminds everyone that the virus is still around.
I think that despite several years of struggling with this, at this point, we know that really your best protection and your community's best protection, your family's best protection is vaccination and boosters for vaccination. And if you get sick, that you isolate yourself and get tested. And so those sort of simple tenets that have been the case since the beginning, they still hold true today.
Daniel Perez reporting for KUAM News.